Hello everyone, Tina here for Pinkfresh Studio. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm so glad you're joining me. Well, today we're going to create a card. We're going to do a little bit of letterpressing and stamping and stenciling. We're going to be using the Pinkfresh Studio Beautiful Branch stamp set. And I really like the greeting that says thankful for your friendship. I think this kind of reminds me of some dogwood flowers, cherry blossoms, just beautiful image. We're going to be using this coordinating die set along with the coordinating stencil set. And then for my background, we're going to add some letterpress. We're using the Decorative frames press plate. This is one press plate, but it creates so many different frames. You can layer them together like they are, create different colors of frames. Fabulous frame set. And then the die set here will cut out each one of those frames. So this is the Decorative frames coordinating cuts. So let's start by doing a little bit of stamping. For the most part today, I thought I would just color in the flower centers of our beautiful branch here. So I'm going to take this stamp and I'm going to put it in my stamping positioner. We're going to stamp on white cardstock using our Pinkfresh Studio Licorice ink. And I'm going to stamp this a couple times just to make sure I have a great impression. Wonderful. Now I'm going to bring in my grip mat and we're going to bring in a couple inks to color in our flowers. We're going to add our flower layer right over the top, and I'm going to color in our flower centers. I would like some white area over my flowers. I'm going to use Mimosa. So basically I'm going to concentrate on the stamen area. I'm also going to color in the flower buds. We have a few flower buds in here that we want colored in also. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my stencil. And before I remove it, I'm going to bring in my Pinkfresh Studio Calico white ink. This is a pigment ink, and I'm going to be using one of my blending tools. I'm going to pick up some color, and then what I'm going to do is soften the edges of that orange. Kind of toning it down a little bit, adding a cloudy look to it. Kind of reminds me of orange sherbet. Now I'm not gonna wipe my stencil off because it's a pigment ink and I don't want to smear it on those florals. Okay, we're gonna go in with our next stencil, and I'm gonna go ahead and line up our leaves this time. I'm using Grassy Knoll ink, and I'm gonna create a gradient with the same ink pad. So we're gonna go over our leaf images lightly. And then in some areas, we're going to add depth by creating some darker color. And that's all there is to the coloring. Let's go ahead and wipe this off, and we will look at our beautiful image. Wonderful. Now again, those flowers look cloudy, so this is when we're going to bring back our stamping positioner and do a re-stamp with it. We'll just add our paper once more. Make sure it's the right side up. I'm going to go over it with my licorice ink and we will stamp over, and then we will make those stamen and flowers a little bit brighter once more. And there we have it. We're going to go ahead and take out our decorative frames. I'm going to bring in my Letterpress system. We're going to go ahead and add our plate right to the middle. This is an A2 plate, so it creates A2 frames, which is really nice. Now, since this is an A2 panel, I have a piece of cardstock that is a 1/4 inch larger than an A2 panel. I just want to make sure that I get the entire frame covered. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back, and I'm just using my tape runner for this, and then I'm going to tack this down. Okay, and the ink that I'm going to be using, I'm using a trio of inks. Kind of have a blue gradient. We have Waterfall, Turquoise, and Atlantis. Okay, we'll start with our lightest ink. My plan is to create 3 different colors of frames, but only having to run it through once. So let's ink this up, doing a little shimmy. The nice thing is this plate's not going nowhere because it's one press plate and it's solid. I'll take the top platform and then place it, and then I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay, now let's take a look, and look how beautiful that is. Just gorgeous. Okay, we're going to use our middle tone ink, which is turquoise, and then for this one I'm going to add it just to the center. Okay, we'll go ahead and replace our top plate, and I'll run this through. Wonderful. Now I'm going to bring in my darkest ink, which is Atlantis, and I'm just going to go over the middle frame here, just adding some ink. Okay, and then we'll do this once more. Wonderful. So we have 3 tones of ink on one frame set. I'm going to go ahead and line up our dies. They're very easy to line up. And I will run these through my die cut machine. Now, while I'm die cutting, I'm also going to take some of the Pinkfresh Studio Essentials glitter cardstock. This is champagne. I'm going to take my decorative frame die, and I'm also going to die cut this out too. Okay? And I will do all of this, and I will be right back. Once I have all of my frames die cut out, my image die cut out, I'm only going to use this piece with our champagne glitter cardstock. Okay, so the rest of these we're going to put to the side. Okay, and then I'm also going to pick out some frames here. And I love that the largest frame will fit an A2 card beautifully, but I'm going to use these here. I'm actually going to layer them, keep them layered together. Okay, we'll just make sure that they're in their home. Using my glue, I'm going to add glue to the same frame that we have here, and I'm just going to layer it together. So I'll just add glue. Basically, we're adding glue to the negative piece. I'm keeping we're keeping the decorative edge. And then we will layer this. Using the negative piece is nice because you're not interfering with that beautiful decorative edge. Okay, I'm going to flip this over, and since we did die cut all of these, I'm going to use some foam tape, okay, to keep it all together, and it's going to give me dimension too. For my greeting, I'm going to be stamping it directly on the front of my A2 size card base, And again, I'm going to use the greeting that says thankful for your friendship. I'm going to open up my card base. I'm going to add some Post-it note tape right over our fold line. Okay. And then with my detail black ink, I'm going to stamp our greeting all over our background. A lot of this is going to be covered up, so I'm just making sure that I have it in the background. Wonderful. And I think that's covering a lot of area here. I think that looks wonderful. Okay, I'm going to clean off my work surface. I just love the way this looks. Okay, while this dries, I'm going to put this to the side, and then I'm going to use my largest frame, my largest decorative frame, and I'm going to glue it to a piece of vellum. Okay, once I have it adhered to my vellum, the corners on here are a little bit rounded, so I just used my scissors and trimmed off the cornered edges of the vellum. Okay, let's take our frame and place this right in the center of our vellum. Once we have this adhered, I'm going to take my florals and we're going to glue it down to the left here. Now I'm going to flip this over, and where I have the foam tape, I'm going to add some adhesive. And then I'm going to place this directly on the front of my card base. Now for finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some glitter, and I'm going to add it to the flower centers where those stamens are. And then I'm also going to bring in my gold dust clear gems. We're going to add some more sparkle here in our background. After we have our gems here, I'm thinking we need a little, I think I'm going to add a greeting to the top. Okay, so I'm bringing in some white cardstock using my detail black ink. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the same greeting we stamped in our background. We'll stamp this, and then I'm going to use the coordinating die set, and we're going to die cut out. We'll go ahead and die cut out our greeting. And there is our greeting. I went ahead and popped it up with some pop-up foam. I'm going to add some more glue behind here. Let's add some glue behind here. I'll go ahead and add my greeting. I'm going to go ahead and add my greeting a little bit towards the center. And that will finish off my card today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.